Hello, Wanderers, and welcome back to our Crusader Kings roleplay series following Clan Stjarna. And as we pick things back up here on the heels of our epic victory in the war to bring Catholicism to Bjarmaland, we have returned home after 9 long years. And now, in honor of our great victory, we will raise a runestone, as in the tradition of our ancestors, to our vanquished foe, Jarl Rikulfir. That is what we shall do. Now that we have decided what to put on our runestone, where shall we place it? I think we shall place it in our... let us put it in Zaragoza. I think that is one of our best counties here, and one of our most powerful pieces of land, and that is where we will build our runestone. So, as you will have doubtlessly seen in the last episode, here we have our brother King Vigfús Styrkarsson of Bjarmaland now ruling that land, and as you can see, he has many vassals, some of who have converted to Catholicism in the wake of the king's victory, some of whom have converted to Orthodoxy. That happened sometime during the war when the previous king, King Rikulfir, converted to Orthodox. Not entirely sure how that happened. Is there a new event that causes that to happen? Maybe to Norse characters in the Russia region? I don't know. You can let me know in the comments below. But we do have some Orthodox here and some now Catholic lords, as the king demanded some of his lords convert to Catholicism, some of which did. Not all, however. So there are Orthodox and Catholic rulers here, among a few, presumably there are a few Norse ones as well. But for the most part, Bjarmaland now is under the rule of the Christians, if not the Catholics. Will Vigfús be able to hold the land? He's got 1,700 troops, but he does have some powerful enemies, such as Rikulfir, who still rules much of the lands here. But it does not have the worst opinion of his liege. He does have the claims, though, so we shall see if he takes those lands back. It's very curious to see. He is fighting in a few wars elsewhere, so will Vigfús be able to build up his power base in time to defend his lands? We shall see. Leave your comments and thoughts below if you think that Vigfús will remain in charge. It's a pretty brutal man. He's slain many people in battle, executed, head ripped off. He is not a man who is afraid of danger or afraid of a fight. As you can see, he is a blade master as well. Can he hold his land? We shall see. But we have done our part. We have conquered that land. In fact, we are fourth in line because there is Scandinavian elective law here in Bjarmaland. We actually are fourth in line to potentially inherit. Our name has been put up. Styrkar Vigfús' son, obviously Jarl Suni, Styrbjorn's son, that was Rikulfir's brother, and Jarl Hrogdir Sorvikar's son of House of Ramariki. Curious. Heir to the kingdom of Bjarmaland. How are you even related there? Grandson of Styrbjorn? Interesting. Well, he apparently has some favor. Maybe somebody else wants to put him on the throne in order to use him as a puppet. We shall see. Another interesting thing. While we were at war for those 9 long years, King Simon did name himself the King of the King of Navarra. And that is a title that we hold equal claim to. Both of us share a grandfather in King Asnar Fortunes of Navarra, and that means that we could potentially take a claim here. Now, we are an honorable man. I don't know if we would personally kind of claim this title, but I could imagine that some in our court, some of those surrounding us, may have an interest in pushing for us to claim that title, perhaps in the near future. We shall see. A few side notes. We did bring on, I believe, let me find him here. There we go. Nabtiko Rikolfir's son, Stjarna. We took him as a hostage in the war when he was, oh gosh, probably, 7 years old now? And he has been raised in our court for some time, so we have brought him on and kept him here as a hostage. And in fact, we have arranged for a betrothal to our granddaughter for him as well. So Nabtiko, son of Rikolfir, is in our court. A few of you pointed out that we should get some marriages, perhaps with the lineage of Amanda Gretierson. We may do so, maybe a son to a granddaughter or something along those lines. We'll look into that once he has a few more children, though. Other than that, I think, oh yes, our alliance with, I believe, the Duke of Aquitaine was broken. Yes, perhaps we can arrange a marriage here. We do have the Vasconia branch in our court, which is nice. Sumarlithi, could you get a betrothal here? Let us take a look. Kind of leaning perhaps towards Catherine de Poitou. I wouldn't mind arranging a betrothal there to secure that alliance with Aquitaine once again. And one thing I would like to do is our son Asnar Satorthisan. He's a bit of a craven, rowdy boy, but a coward. I am interested in potentially asking him to take the vows. 25% chance. But I am curious to see if he will accept that. So we are going to set time running here. And we shall just simply see what happens. Duke Ramnolf of the Tress accepts our betrothal proposition. Very good. Our young son does not wish to become a monk. That's unfortunate. We won't be able to do so again for 10 years. I doubt he will accept. We could have probably forced him into the position, but we will choose not to. For now, anyways. Back to making money again. I think we should. It's been a little while since the battle, but I think we should call for a hunt, and then potentially call for a feast as well. Let us get ourselves a little bit of prestige, but my lord, a heart. My wife, Duchess Oneka, gestures for me to join her in the chase. As soon as we are hidden in the mountains, she turns and tugs my shirt over my head. Finally, some time alone, my pet. Well, hello there, Duchess Oneka. But what about the heart? She is our soulmate. I think we could probably do with some fresh air and exercise. I don't know about what you guys think of that, but I think that we would find our soulmate quite appealing in such a case. I caught these two hiding in the pantry. A very irate cook shouts at me, dragging my son Asnar and Julien in tow. They stole a whole cake. Oh my gosh, Asnar's becoming a drunkard. That's kind of amusing. It does seem to run in the family, but I'm pretty sure he did this in the last episode too. Drank a keg of beer with his brother. So, I think at this point, maybe we do need to teach our son a little bit of diligence. Not to just be causing trouble all the time. At least make yourself useful, boy. The hunt is drawing to an end. We mount our horses and leave the mountains behind as the servants prepare the heart, which eventually we found the time to go and hunt down. We have our share of the hunts, and that is exactly what we would like. Once we return home, we will potentially hold a feast. We can declare some wars. I think we'll take a little time away from declaring wars right now. There is a war. Who are we fighting? A war for King Adalwin's claim on the Kingdom of East Francia. Looks like we're allies in that. And Prince Arnulf's claim on the Kingdom of Bavaria. Not super important to us personally. We're continuing to try to sway the Pope because we want the Pope's money. And we need the Pope's money to do the things that we wish to do. One thing you'll notice here, I am fabricating claims on these two counties here because we can't take, there's no duchy attached to them because of bugs related to the game. So if we want to take those two counties, we're going to need to press two claims at the same time, is my understanding of it. Someone wants to ride our new fine stallion, Tinsender, Count Mandak. No, we are very possessive of our horses, as you may have noticed before. Zverker. Zverker has finally died. This man, he was a brute, a berserker, a Varangian, a reaver, blade master, overseer, tough soldier. He fought well. I think we should all honor Count Zverker of Catalayud in the chat. Who shall we put in charge of our armies? Count Kolik or Gonzalo Ramirez? Well, Count Kolik is a vassal. I think I would rather put a vassal in charge here. So that is what we shall do. And I would like to once again increase control. Well, our son Satordi son has died. What did he die of? Died from his internal injuries. So actually, as you guys will remember, and I was just about to come over to this, our son Styrkarsson lost his arm in the war there, in the final, I think it must have been the final year or the final 2 years of the war. He lost his arm, and I guess the complications from that have finally taken their toll, and our eldest son has died. Styrkarsson has died. That is sad. He was possessed too. I think that wound, the infection, I imagine the infection drove him mad, slowly taking over his body and eventually killing him. The King of Sardinia is calling us in the war of tyranny against him. Obviously, we are going to send in some troops to assist. Where are these troops coming from? Looks like a very small war. 2,000 troops. It's a long way for us to go. We won't send all of our troops in there. I think we'll just send maybe the local army. Yeah, we'll disband this half of the army. We'll send in about half. And we'll send in these guys. We'll put a logistician in charge so they don't lose all of their forces. And we'll sail over here. That's a long way to sail, but the Sardinians went longer than that to wage war on Bjarma land for us, so. Looks like Big Foos is still surviving over there. So that's what we like to see. So we'll send in those troops. And yeah, we'll just let some time pass here. We'll let things settle down just a little bit before we start getting ourselves into any crazy new wars or anything like that. There we go. Our army is gonna join up with our allies, hopefully in just a few weeks or months here. Also, if you hear some traffic noises, well, that is unfortunate. I am recording during the day And traffic gets a little bit busy around this time, so hopefully it's not too disturbing to the atmosphere of the game. Greetings, Jarl Satordi. I have prowled through documents, both ancient and of less certain provenance. With a little bribe, we can get a claim on there. I will take that. Because we'll need it. Like I said, I'd like to get those two counties in one war, and I think we can do it if we have claims on them both, so that's what I'm hoping for. Looks like our allies just finished off that battle pretty easily. Oh, here, you know what, we're gonna siege down the enemy capital here, yeah. We still don't have siege equipment. Our troops we haven't really learned, apparently, the art of siege equipment. Yeah, we can't create them because we don't have that unlocked yet. Hopefully soon we will. But don't forget, we did come from fairly, not uneducated, but not as advanced people from when we originally began the campaign. But we will lay some sieges down here while things in our lands continue. Do we have anybody who could be good at sieging? No. We'll put Count Kolik in charge. Reflecting on God, I'm sitting and meditating on the finer points of Catholicism, and I cannot help but think back when I journeyed to Grandheimer on a pilgrimage. This trip was far from the quotidian comforts of my life as a Jarl, but the relief I felt there made it all worth the trouble. Recalling back to our pilgrimage back when we were still a Norse pagan, but apparently we think back on that and it does give us a little bit of stress relief, but it makes us feel closer to our Catholic God as well. We probably have an interesting relationship with our religion, I imagine, this character. And I think we will once again take our horse out for a ride and lose some stress. So our new heir is actually Sumar Lethi, which I am not opposed of. He's a good character, just humble, gregarious, and strong. We are raising him to be a warrior as well. He has that betrothal to Catherine de Poitou, which is a pretty strong alliance for him. We will be continuing down the strategist tree here for our perks. So now our lands will be split up between Aznar and Sumar Lethi. We have finally discovered the Onager. Now we can get some siege equipment. But what would we drop for that? We could drop potentially... I guess maybe our Huskarls? I'd like to keep the Metza and Vartia because they're pretty cool, but the Huskarls are essentially just... Well, they're quite a bit different than the Varangians, but honestly, I think the Varangians are better. So I am going to get rid of our Huskarl group here because I would like to get some siege equipment. We'll need to save up a little bit of money, but that's fine. Still sieging this down. We should be done very soon. A lot of supply left still, so we're good in that regard. And the siege is done. Oh, and we have seized a worn language manual. Not entirely sure if we can use that. Let us see. Yeah, there we go. We can. It's going to help us learn more languages if we choose to do so. Offer of guardianship. He would like our son to become French. I will decline. We do not really want our son to become French. Oh, looks like we're gonna take a little bit of casualties here. Question. We're having trouble kind of keeping track of the French language. I wonder... You know, I imagine that we're not spending as much time in... I mean, we spent, what, how many years? 9 years fighting that war, and then we come back. You know, we're probably spending all of our time in the land. I don't think we probably, like, pay quite as much heed to King Simon now. Just we've drifted apart over 10 long years. I suspect that we might kind of just forget about the French language, honestly. Sumerlethi has come of age. Oh, he has shown great aptitude in battle. He's a logistician. He's strong. That's pretty good. I like it. Sumerlethi, our player son, heir, and knight. Very good. I'm proud of our son. Our alliance with Duke Pierre of Vasconia has broken. It doesn't look like we can arrange an alliance with his son. So there you have it. Things are kind of progressing along peacefully for the most part here. I'm going to develop this onagers. Now, I think, so kind of take this for how you will. But I think after all of this, you know, we've kind of drifted away from our king. We still get along, but not as well as we used to. You know, we don't speak French anymore because you know, our alliances are kind of breaking down here. We're kind of dealing with things more here in Sardinia and, you know, the war in Biarma land, paying more attention to these kind of things. Oh, look at this. Looks like these guys broke off from Sweden. You know, I think that we have, to some extent, broken away. We're becoming a little bit more independent here. And I think with that, our council here, Count Mandak, well, we have two Count Mandaks. Count Mandak Yurakid, Count Mandak Gretirson, Count Kolik, Prince Bishop Rikulfir, Odir. I think many of these men, and our wife as well, may kind of lean towards saying, you know, King Simon, you know, may be our king, and, you know, we may have decent relations with him, but he was not always our king. We were once free people, and we have just as strong a claim to the throne of Navarra as he does. And I think with that, we may be convinced to claim the throne of Navarra for ourselves. The question is, do we now push that claim? Well, we'll have to wait a little bit. But I think our council has said that, yes, put out the rumors and let people know that the Kingdom of Navarra does not rest easily upon the brow of the King of Aquitaine. It should be in the hands of a Navarran, which we certainly are. Riddles are a beloved pastime among the Nordvina. Two or more players exchange increasingly tough problems, rhyming in allegory or myth. On one particularly long, lazy day, Colbine thinks to challenge me to a game. I think that we could... Very well. We will test our speech craft, and we win the game. We are not... I mean, we're not the most intelligent man, but we do have a way with words, as you can see. We are as good with words as we are with our sword. Still sieging that down. The war looks like it's progressing nicely there. Yeah, so will we be able to take this land from the King of Aquitaine? He has obviously heard the rumors now that we are essentially saying that our claim to the kingdom of Navarra is just as strong as his is perhaps more, because we are the ones who rule Navarra. We have fought and taken it back from the Muslims who once ruled it. I think that there's tension is building here between these two lands. Our son is enjoying the feast. He couldn't stop talking about the younger servants, one of the younger servants who he was apparently has a little bit of a crush on. We could make him gregarious. I think that might serve him a little bit better than lustful. We will gain a little bit of stress, but I think we want our son to turn those feelings less towards lust and more towards diplomacy. As I just mentioned, we are a strong diplomatic sort ourselves. So the question is, will we actually go to war against our liege? Will we do we have the money? I think we need to start saving up our money to potentially wage this war. So Tinsender unfortunately died of sickness. Oh, and Ricklefear died in battle. He was slain in battle. Slain by who? Just by a random warrior, I suppose. And that means that his claim is becoming diluted here. So Nabtiko left. He went and looks like he returned to Bjarmaland, but I think that should potentially give Vigfús a little bit more breathing. Holy crap, just look how much his troops shot up. 7,000 troops. Yeah, Vigfús, powerful king here. Let us see what he can do with that kingdom. My god. That is an interesting development over there. So, anything that we need to really do here? No, not at the moment. We simply need this. Oh, I was not paying attention. Our troops did get caught and were forced to retreat from the siege of Friuli. That is unfortunate. Maybe we'll go and lay siege up to this smaller place here. Oh no, they're coming for us again. Alright, well, I don't want to lose troops unnecessarily twice in a row, so let's see if we can escape here. And maybe we can get down around and potentially... Oh, looks like are we gonna make it here? Hopefully. Oh, looks like we're just gonna make it away. Oh, it's because... yeah, not any particular reason here. Oh no, we're not gonna make it onto our ships in time. Alright. Let's see how Count Kolik handles this battle against Archon of Bonifacio. Our armies were routed, unfortunately. So this isn't a battle that Styrkarthi lost himself, but it was 2 battles that we did lose in a row. We might have to try to join up with the forces of the King of Sardinia, if at all possible. We're still winning the war, but our forces did take a little bit of a hit there. We will ask the Pope for more money. We definitely will need that. We will use this wealth wisely. We could potentially, before we go to war with and take Navarra, the Kingdom of Navarra back, we could go to war with Duke Anso deceitful, arrogant, slow. He's not a very particularly respectable man, just a young man. We do have a claim to his land, so we may go and we may take the Le Board here for ourselves before we declare war on. Oh, can we get out of here? All right, looks like our allies are finally going to come and join us here. So we might actually be able to win this fight. There we go, yes, our allies joining in. So Count Kolik will finally have a successful battle here, supported by our Sardinian allies. We can defeat the enemy army here in the mountains of Tirano. And that should give us a pretty significant advantage in the war. There we go. We will stay, I imagine, to fight it out to the end. We'll go and siege down here, and hopefully this war will be over soon. We can ransom this man for more money. I am trying to save up money as well because we're probably... What? Look at this. First in line to inherit the throne of Bjarmaland? Well... Wouldn't that be crazy? We break off and who knows what's going to happen here. Oh my gosh. Things are getting really interesting. In the next 1 or 2 episodes, things could really completely change the way that Satordi's story is going to play out. Honestly. Let's just finish off. I just want to finish off this war here, preferably to get out of here before we die. Can we cross this bridge and then come back over here? Yeah, okay, we're gonna stick with our allies. I'm hearing tales of the barbarian warlords who attacked Rome generations ago. Attila, of course, is most famous, but others are well known. Alaric the Goth sacked Rome and yet died soon after. There is also Genseric, who transformed the Vandals into a Mediterranean power. The ambitious Odoacer, who overthrew the last Western Roman Empire. Romulus Augustulus, and Clovis, first king of the United Franks. We could increase our diplomacy, increase our martial. You guys can kind of pause and look at the historical context between all these if you're interested in that. I think what we'll want to do is potentially increase our skill in diplomacy, really. All right, we're just going to attach our army here. That'll be safer. We will... I think we will compliment the Pope's assertive presence. I think he'll appreciate that. And he did. He did appreciate that. Alright, here we go. Finally, the war is going to be done. So be it. Disband our armies. Now. And we can get another perk here. I'm going to continue down the tree to get strategist. So, what I would like to do, number one... Oh, and he's defending against one of his one of his vassals is saying that he is a tyrant. I think we might agree, and I think we're going to declare war and take our contested title here as is rightfully ours to do. We will march in ourselves, and we will siege down this land. And look, even better here. This is perfect. King Simon has died, so I think we would have struggled to declare war on King Simon. He has treated us well. We were almost as close as brothers at one point, but then we drifted apart. I don't think we would have any such compulsion with his son, who is, as you can see, inbred, So he's not particularly good. He's a very skilled warrior. But there's just kind of something about him that doesn't really sit well with us. I think that we will have much less trouble declaring the Kingdom of Navarra ours as opposed to King Rambo's. He is making us the marshal. We will accept. So we're just going to kind of play through these sieges quite quickly here. Asnar comes of age, and he is a flamboyant trickster. Fair enough. They grow up fast, don't they? We will need to get him a marriage, but we'll probably do that maybe a little bit later. There we go. We've laid siege to that. And then we're going to head here, and we're just going to siege down his capital. Waldensians in Nordgau. Well, that is interesting, but not of any major concern to us, I would say. Belaskita, our daughter. It takes me a moment to recognize her. She is so bruised and swollen, she barely looks human. As I grab my daughter, attempts to speak, but no sound passes her lips. The aromatic physician is standing in the corner of the room, anxiously wringing his hands. What did our son do to, or what did our physician do to our daughter? Wounded, disfigured, ill. Put him under lock and key. No, this traitor deserves to die. No, we'll put him under lock and key. How dare he do this to our beautiful daughter? Looks like they did manage to siege down one of our counties, but that's not too much of a concern. We are getting called into a war with Sardinia here. We will accept. We can send our troops in after this. Let us simply finish off this siege. We'll go and attack the enemy army. There we go. Perfect. We can end this here. These lands are ours, Duke Anselm, and you will recognize that. Recognize that and our claim to it. So be it. So there we go. That is our new bit of land here. Bayonne is now ours. So we will deal with the war in West Francia. I may even handle that off screen. But once we have sorted everything out, the next episode will no doubt begin with us declaring our independence, declaring ourselves the king, the true king of Navarra, and finally manifesting our ultimate destiny here in the lands of our mother. And that'll be in the next episode, so we shall see you then.